hosts of Neil Rule. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
And happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody!
Big
Welcome to Big D Energy, right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. That is Darren McCarty. We got JB in the sound booth. What's up, JB?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
I think JB is the only person at the network that has more Woodward sports gear than I do.
I think you're probably right about that.
You have everything in the shop.
Almost everything. There's a couple things missing. You know, I got
a stove not scared?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, tomorrow, baby, let's go.
He's got illegal JMO stuff that we put up like a year ago that we had to take down.
That's a secret. That's a secret.
Yeah, JB went for it. And of course, we got Spetmore Racks here.
Hello.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve, Spencer.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
I was thinking during that intro, you hear the golden voice of Neil Rule, the four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. Spencer, how would you like to be announced in an intro? What could they list?
I don't know. There's not much so far. I still got to build up to that. Nothing as cool as four-time Stanley Cup champion, that's for sure.
Works with four-time Stanley Cup champion.
You know what? And that's, Spenny, I would think so, but that's arguable here at the network. There's a couple people that would probably, one person that would argue with that. So,
yeah, that's true.
Spenny, I think I got one for you.
What's that?
Tiny Tina champion.
Yeah. Teeny Turner.
I don't want that to be my legacy. That was one night.
And you know what, Spencer, it's probably unfair to put you on the spot like that to label yourself. I think it's easier to label other people. So how would you introduce JB?
The Wizard of the Soundboard.
The Wizard of the Soundboard.
I like that.
All right, and now
Just call him Wiz.
what would you call me, Spencer?
Stick, man.
The Stick.
Just Stick.
And
Detroit legend.
Stick.
Detroit media icon.
Oh,
Sam
icon.
Stick Day.
There we go. That's what this whole thing was about. I was just fishing for some compliments.
Pat
here.
McAfee's father.
Hey, that mother still owes me.
Yeah.
Owes. Dude, for people, hey, it's almost like a year. How long has it been? Like 8 months? Whatever. Refresh the listeners in case they don't know what is owed to you from last year's last game of the season.
Yeah, Pat McAfee couldn't get Dan Campbell on that week, and he went on his show and kind of roasted the Lions, and, he had Aaron Rodgers on there, and they kind of took some shots at the Lions, and, there was some banter back and forth on Twitter. They ended up pulling back and saying they apologized, and we placed a friendly wager, and I believe it was, hey, you know what? Where I'm from, we put our money where our mouth is, and why don't you put it on the line if you're talking about the Lions and how Green Bay is going to smoke them? I will bet you that I will wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey for 365 days if the Lions lose, but you have to come here and do a show in Detroit if we win. And the Lions won, thank God, and I don't have to wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey, but I would have. It's something I would have done, but they were supposed to come in the early fall, but then they signed with ESPN, and it's looking like they're going to be here for the draft.
So we're still waiting. It's still in the hopper and stuff. They haven't forgot, but technically you're 1-0 against Pat McAfee in betting.
Yeah.
So, just facts.
Well, when you bet on this Detroit Lions team, you can't lose.
No.
I love these guys.
Stoked, not scared.
They do nothing but prove me right. So we got a lot to talk about in the show. Obviously, Lions taking on the Packers tomorrow. We're going to break all that down. But we were talking before the show about Bye Bye Barry. It came out, the documentary about Barry Sanders, pretty much just why he left the NFL. And JB, you said you watched all of it. What were your takeaways?
For as much as we know about Barry Sanders, this gave you a little bit more of an insight as to what he was going through, what he was feeling, especially with the whole retirement, faxing in his retirement letter, which I know you're still not happy about that still.
I'll never be happy about
it. I can kind of understand him a little bit more. He's a humble player. He doesn't like the spotlight, doesn't like all this shine on him. He just wants to go out there, play, and then be done with it. I believe Jeff Daniels, who was also in the documentary, said it best, is like he lives between that cut and action. So once the ball is snapped, that's where he lives, and once it's over, once the refs blow the whistle, it's like, all right, I'm done. I want to go home. And he coined the term very well, act like you've been there before, especially when going in for touchdowns, just handing the ball to the refs. I don't need any celebration. Like, this is my job. This is what I do. I did it. All right, cool. I'm on the bench until the next play.
Yeah, and I always admired that about Barry Sanders. I think that's one of the coolest things that you could ever do when you score a touchdown. It's just like flip it to the official like don't mean shit. Like that. I mean, that's it's almost more arrogant than celebrating. It's amazing.
And
that's true too.
Here's the funny part, right? Because I played with two GOATs in that aspect, but their delivery was the same, but their attitude was different. Who do I mean? I didn't play with two. I played with one, and then we're talking about Barry, the way that it was. And Barry's attitude was it not like he'd been there before. It was his job. He'd do it again, but it was with some humility.
Right.
Brett Hull, right? He would do it. No, he would do it to the fact, but it was like, of course I did it. Like, what do you expect? This is what I do. The same sort of way where he wouldn't get excited and stuff like this, but it was more
not humble, just
not
arrogant.
humble. The opposite of it. So I always thought that was cool. But what I took out of the Bye Bye Barry, I think as an athlete, you don't really realize until you're retired or away from the game is what you meant to the game, to other people in the game.
Yeah.
So to hear the Joe Montanas and, to hear different quarterbacks talking about your peers talking about, man, like they realized how great Barry was and wanted to play with him or try to get an opportunity. That just shot a little bit more of a light than we are in a bubble sometimes with some of these great athletes. So he was looked at, and it's his truth. I think we got to see more of his truth, whether we like it or not. But this was the guy. I'm fortunate because I get to do all the Bernstein stuff and charity stuff and see Barry doing a whole bunch of different things. So know the human being, but he's the same way. He doesn't know he's Barry Sanders. That's it. He's the last one that knows he's Barry Sanders because he doesn't act like it.
Yeah, and I love that humility. I was actually calling the Birmingham Birmingham Groves high school football game this postseason, and his son plays running back for Birmingham Groves, and his son scored a touchdown, did the exact same thing, just flipped it to the official, and it was so cool to see. It was so cool to see, and I respect that about Barry. I'll always tell you, he was the greatest running back of all time. I mean, his highlights speak for themselves. What he meant to Detroit speaks for itself, and I think that's why I took it so hard the way he went out. Like, I love Barry Sanders, but I hate the way he went out. And I can separate the two. I can understand why he did it, but I wouldn't go about my business that way. You know what I mean? Like, I would never leave my team hanging and just be like, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm out of here, right? It'd kind of be a slow burn.
But it got it more feeling like he was an employee than he was part of a team or an organization, and then that was always it.
And how disposable do you feel as a professional athlete sometimes? Because you hear when people get traded, you're uprooting your family, you're changing your life, but everybody knows that's just kind of part of the business. When a trade comes in or something like that, do you feel disposable in that aspect?
There's times that you do, and especially like I played for the greatest organization and culture, family, and stuff like this, yet there's different times, on the outside looking in, or you don't feel a part of it, and it's that sort of appreciation. I think that when things were cooking and when there wasn't a salary cap and you saw Mr. Rhodes would spend money, but it was still about the locker room and finding, the right vibe. I always look back to the 02 team when you have the Hall of Fame team and you're supposed to win and stuff like this, but yet you'd still go find a way to win. That means that's even bigger because you can put all those egos and find a way to do it. And to me, that's one of Scotty Bowman's greatest accomplishments, is to be able to get that team in the right direction to win. So at different times you feel like you are, what have you done for me lately? And It is sports and stuff like that, but a lot more people see. Here's the whole thing, and this is what you learn from Scotty, is you don't treat everybody the same. You got to know what makes them tick. So guys like Barry, is that Barry treated it like he punched it in and punched in the clock, punched out of the clock, and we understand the way the organization sort of treated him, that should have been better. So I respected that certain people, hey, all right, I told you, oh, goodbye. Now, to your point, a lot of other people are more committed and it doesn't go down like that, and they say they take one for the team. That's what you see mostly. In this case, no.
Right.
I got the power. I'm going to take my ball. I'm going to go home.
Yeah, and that's what happened, and unfortunately, it's not specifically what happened with Calvin Johnson, but that's almost another case of mismanagement of your supreme athlete fighting with the organization, and to where he at least gave him a heads up when he was retiring, but he still walked away too early.
Is it fair to ask this question? Like, to me, it was all like, and yes, Barry had to have the passion for it, but we learned a little bit more about, family upbringing and, like his old man wasn't the easiest on him. And
right,
it was always sort of a way out, but a job. It wasn't like it didn't seem like it was a passion. He just knew that he was good at it. That's why he could go, right? So to the fact that if he had that, I'm going to use Tom Brady as an example.
It's like Goodwill Hunting. Like I can solve all the fucking problems, but this is boring to me, right? Like, I'm the best running back ever, but I don't really want to do this. That's got to be such a hard battle to fight, right?
There's more to life. And I think you mentioned it too, and I'm only going to relate it because you mentioned about his son playing football now. I think Barry now enjoys watching and football, through his eyes and watching his son and watching other things than at times when he played.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying the game, and I think
he's enjoying.
That's just
life.
part of growing up, though, right? Is getting some perspective on everything.
Yeah, and to me, he's enjoying life. But the fact that he's back around and he's got the statue and he feels appreciated, and Sheila and the Ford family has made him feel appreciated. And I like that because you can't change the past, but they're trying to do what they can when it comes to Barry and Calvin and stuff like this to make it right moving forward.
Yeah, and you can see that even he's doing the college football commercials too for the Heisman House, so he's having fun with
great.
that. I love those commercials. Spenny, how you feeling about Barry?
I mean, I didn't get to experience Barry like most people did. I wasn't old enough to see Barry in all his glory, but my dad talks about him at a very high level. He's one of the best, if not the best running back of all time, and it's good to see him get some shine. It's good to see the Lions get some shine. He deserves it, but Terry should be a part of that. Terry Foster should have been a part of that documentary.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I mean, he is the godfather of Detroit sports
and
media.
He was in contact talking with Barry's father every day throughout the entire retirement thing. He knows what was happening. He knew what was happening. You don't have a direct line like that in Detroit other than Terry Foster, and you don't put him in there.
Did Terry mention why? No?
No.
Because he was in the Bad Boys documentary, and that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. They throw in Jameel Hill, who I can't stand personally, but those are for other reasons outside of the Barry Sanders thing. I don't know why she's involved in that whole operation. Because you had legends in there, and then it's like, and Jameel Hill.
Yeah.
One of these things was not like the other. But either way, go check out the Bye Bye Barry.
Where's it on?
Prime. It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yep. Yeah, go check it out. It's a good watch, especially if you're a Lions fan. I mean, it's Lions history. They don't make many documentaries about anything Lions. Believe me, it's been a shit show for 60 years, so there's really not much to make documentaries about, so I'm glad we got one.
Absolutely. No, you have definitely to check it out for the history. It's always good to see different sides of stories. I want to hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Yeah, hell yeah, always. Except that stupid Pacers documentary about the malice at the palace.
Directed by Jermaine O'Neal.
Yeah. I don't want to hear their trash-ass perspective on that night.
Why not, though? See, I do, right?
Because they didn't tell both sides, though.
Doesn't it bother anybody a lot? Like, most of the time, the history is written by the winners?
Should be. It's part of winning.
But isn't the story too the perspective? Now, it doesn't have to be don't you want to see somebody else's perspective of what he believes? See, I like that. Whether I saw it the way that they saw it, but it lets you a little bit in on human psyche or the understanding. To me, if you're telling a story with two sides,
you don't care.
But you don't care about the other side of that story.
But if you're telling a story with two sides, then tell both sides. Barry's telling his story, and that's it. Well, I guess he was telling the Lions story too.
But understand, so make it. This is from the perspective of the Pacers and Jermaine. Lay it out to what it is. Don't try to hide behind that. This is ESPN came in and did a did an independent documentary on this is what they, and it came out that way. That's where you throw people off.
A Jermaine O'Neal joint. Speaking of joints, Spencer,
absolutely.
You want to tell them about Dispo? Or
No,
sorry,
why don't you let the weed guy talk about the weed?
I think that's before you go on a walk with your cousins this holiday weekend.
Experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory of Michigan's largest variety of products. The first ever cannabis mall of its kind is conveniently located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late night until midnight except Sunday. So every day except Sunday. What can get better than that? I don't think so. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports and Spenny's favorite long drink this Thursday. Yes, tomorrow morning, Fish Lights VIP Tailgate Easter Market Shed 5. Always a bash starting at 9:30 up until kick-off. You can pregame with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP. Foods, beverages, entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today. BullseyeEventGroup.com or win some Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on IG, and direct message Lions VIP.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule, who is still in the Bahamas, still sitting by the ocean.
Must be nice.
Still sipping on what Neil Rule sips on. You know, I feel like Neil Rule switches his drink up when he's on vacation.
Yeah, he says he'll do one pina colada a day.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Because when he's here, he's a whiskey guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a man's man. But when you go on vacation, you're allowed to sip on a pina colada.
You can just sip on a pina colada anytime you want. I mean, if that's your jam. So
you imagine walking into a bar and seeing D-Mac just like sipping on a pina colada, trying to find the straw.
Absolutely. No, mixing that. Come on. God damn it. Ice at the bottom. I go for a virgin pina colada out in the sun.
They are delicious.
Down there.
Listen, I'm not going to knock them. When I'm on vacation, I turn into a pina colada rum guy. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, that gets me started. That's like the morning drink. But that's only when we get to go on vacation. JB, how you feeling today, man?
Oh, I'm good. I mean, I would definitely partake in that pina colada as well, too. Also, those walks with your cousin, you know, right before dinner. Got to get in those.
Yep, that's when you got to head to Dispo to make sure you take care of that. Lots of stuff going on in the chat. We were going to move on to another topic, but I mean, it's kind of heating up the Barry debate, right? Like, D-Mac, you're adamant. He quit on an organization that quit on him.
All right, I got to address this.
Address it.
All right. So Kat says Barry quit. And I said, yeah, he quit.
He quit.
After the team quit on him, right? And then he says, that's a bullshit take. And I said, what? Because I agreed that he quit. And retiring means ending the game. It doesn't matter if you have years on your contract or not or whatever like that. You walked away, and yes, he did. But you know what? It came down. This is years and years of building up that Barry just said, screw you. Yeah, they had good teams in the early 90s, not in the late 90s when trying to put something around them. And he just said, I've had enough. So if you want to blame, the only blame is Barry took the responsibility because he had the power. He took his ball and went home. But if you don't think that this is absolutely blatant on the organization, then you're full of it.
I mean, it's a little bit on Barry, right?
No,
it has to be on Barry.
But it's his power.
I got that he's got the power.
Position, but what do I owe you? I owe you nothing as an athlete, because what did you just say?
And it's not about you. It's not about the organization, though. It's about what you owe your teammates. It's about what you owe the guys in the locker room with you that are going to battle with you every day.
That's a different question. Because they're
getting fucked by the same organization.
That's a different question, but he just put money back on the books or whatever like this. But obviously, it's an organizational to ever let your top player that he would walk away. So why do I have to treat the organization differently than they treat me? That's what Barry said. I'm the top of the shit. I'm the best in the league. Go fuck yourself. I'm out. I don't care whatever else. It's pushed to this point. If you ask his teammates, right, a lot of them wish they could have done that. The fact is that Barry didn't go anywhere else and he walked away goes to show you the mettle of the man. He just took his talent and went home. He didn't take it and say, I'm done here. I'm going to go get money elsewhere where everybody else does or do anything like that. This was strictly, I'm done.
So put yourself back in the 97 locker room, right? All of a sudden, Yzerman just sends a fax before the season saying, I'm not playing for you assholes anymore.
Okay.
As a teammate, how you feeling?
No, you're you're going to be upset, but I think as it plays out and what we saw, the explanation. So don't, every situation is different in life, right? To the person you are, right? Steve Yzerman obviously isn't Barry Sanders. And
no, I know that.
But this could happen, but this doesn't happen at all. That's how bad the it's blatant on the organization that they made the best player in the league walk away. To me, it's more, I guess to me as the athlete, it's more blatant to his sanity and everything else, because he didn't he's about life. More like I'm about life than Yzerman, Draper, and all the guys. Don't blame them, but they live at the rink. It's all about football. That's not Barry, or all about hockey. Barry's not all about football. Barry's about more than that. And it's just unfortunate at that situation that he made that decision. Yeah, and as a teammate, yeah, because you're looking right now, what the hell? What's going on? But as a friend, how can you question any one of your friends if they stick to what they believe and their truth? That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this debate with many people for a long time, because I'm one of the only people who will be like, Barry, I just don't like it. I don't love how he quit on the team. And like I said, but I can separate him. I can still acknowledge that he's the greatest running back of all time. I just personally don't like it, but it's his prerogative.
No,
it's his
you
right.
Don't have to
I don't
like
have
it.
to like it.
No, please don't like it. None of us like it. I'm just I'm not into the right or wrong. I'm into the why. And the why is blatantly explained to me. So I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Do you, boo?
Well, I'm glad Barry Sanders is back in good graces with the Lions, and just in time, because, I mean, they're 8-2, baby. We're playing our third game in 11 days tomorrow, and we're taking on a Green Bay Packers team that looked decent last week. They didn't look great, but Jordan Love threw for over 300 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns, the game-winning touchdown, similar to what Goff did at the very end of the game. How you feeling going into tomorrow? Because I'm feeling like the Lions got away with one a couple of days ago, and they're going to make the Packers pay the price for it.
But don't you feel like they got away with one? But I mean, you go back to the San Diego game. I mean, we got to solidify. What I'd like to see is a little solidification on defense, and not let Jordan Love, which I don't expect him to throw him around the yard. The one thing I do expect, Stick, is the game plan and to come out. We know we got to come out fast, right? We got to come out. I think that it's something imperative to come out and get this lead. But the adjustments you mentioned yesterday, so I'm more focused on the defense, as we always are, right? Whether that's pressure or not, but it's just, are they making adjustments and they making it tough early, right? You're going to let Jordan Love, is Jordan Love, you're going to lose to him with his arm? You're going to let him beat you with his arm?
See, that's the thing. I want them to make Jordan Love beat you. I want them to make Jordan Love prove that he can beat you by shutting down the run, because I don't think Aaron Jones is playing tomorrow. But the Packers' running game scares me more than Jordan Love scares me. It's very similar to last week. Okay. You just stack the box, you turn this guy into a passer, and make him beat you. He's shown flashes, like I said last week, over 300 yards, first time in his career. But once again, that's the first time in his career.
And
it's
he's-
not the standard for Jordan Love. It was an exceptional game for him.
He's playing better, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But the fact is, I don't think you're going to let Jordan Love beat you or stop you on where you want to get. And to the fact of what you're coming off of the game in the division, where if you want to say you got away with one, not playing your best, everybody should be refocused. Plus, you got 10 days off.
After,
I mean,
yeah.
plus you can just, dude, you can just fill yourself with as much turkey dinner and
The schedule-
festivities as you want. The schedule, dude,
Couldn't have
the
worked out better for the Lions
I
right
said
now.
this: the blessing to winning the last game of the season and not making the playoffs is playing out right now, and that's in your schedule.
Yeah. I mean, having your bye week, going into your 3 games in 11-day stretch, and then getting 10 days off after that.
The third time you played the first Thursday of the month, or the first Thursday game of the year, so
That's
you
true,
had
too.
10 days off. Then you had your bye week. You had 10 days off. Then you had, then you have Thanksgiving. So I expect I expect that dominant performance, right? I do, and cleaned up, right? So is that it? Maybe cleaned up as far as the turnovers, not turning the ball over. I mean, forget 4 times, once.
It's just, 4 times is an anomaly. I mean,
And then
I don't want
and
to say
you
it's
won.
never going to happen again, but I highly doubt they're going to go back-to-back games with 4 turnovers. And if they do, they deserve to lose. I mean, because you cannot continue to play on the edge like that. Spencer, you ready for tomorrow, baby?
Oh, yeah. I'm born
Bunch
ready.
of turkey and the Lions kicking the hell out of the Packers.
Not really a turkey guy, but yeah, I expect the Lions to win this
Hey,
game.
You're not a turkey guy?
Hey, either is Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
You see
you
his?
hear that?
Yeah.
He's a ham guy.
Him and Spenny are like 2 peas in a pod.
So what do you eat?
Ham, I'll do a little bit of turkey, like some dark meat with gravy all over it, but I'm not going to load up on turkey. I'm a sides guy. Green bean casserole, mac and cheese, deviled eggs, stuffing. My plate's always good. And sometimes, you weren't here, but we have steak and cake is what it's called at the Rizzi family, which is my mom's side of the Rizzi's. The Rizzi family, Christmas and Easter.
Sounds
and
like a strip club.
Thanksgiving.
Steak and cake?
It's when all the food gets put away, all the,
Or it should
all
be.
the desserts come out, so all the pies and everything. My Uncle Roel has steak marinating, and he puts it on the grill. So he walks around with steak and cake. So you can have a piece of steak and have some cake.
Coming to the stage as Steak and Cake.
Right.
It's Diamond.
Diamond. Fresh off the grill. Oh,
And
yeah.
we had brisket last year, which is really good. So I'm hoping there's something like that too. Maybe some prime rib.
JB, you a turkey guy?
Oh yeah, turkey, ham, turducken, whatever you got.
Oh, way to
I'm
go,
always
man.
If it's a bird, it's for JB.
Oh yeah, you know it. I mean, I love my sides too, but I got to fill up on the turkey.
Yeah, I got to commend Spencer for standing tall on the green bean casserole,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That being the first one you listed that's elite because that's
my
my
stuff.
favorite too.
Yeah,
and
it's
a
good
lot of
stuff.
people clown the green bean casserole.
Green bean
know why.
casserole is fire.
If it's done right with a lot of onions on top, super crispy.
Oh, yeah.
And not the canned green
No,
beans.
fresh
It's got to be those
Oh,
fresh
yeah.
boys. Get that snap. All right, tell them about some Guardian Alarm, D-Mac.
Absolutely. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians. Take the time to recommend security and automated solutions specific to your needs, but I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed, but I need you to call the number today, 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. Has been proven to work, and people have been proven to care, whether it's business, whether it's personal. Guardian Alarm don't care. They just want you to call the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay
Stay
out.
out of the net, Jack Hughes.
Whatever it takes. Stay out of the end zone. Jordan Love, Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you.
What about Les Stanford?
Absolutely. And you know Les Stanford, what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. and even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey, you want to cook steak and cake like Uncle Roel does at Spencer's Family Time? Well, he gets his steak from one place, and that's Fairway Packing Cake. I'm not sure where he picks up his cake, but you know that delicious marinated steak that Spenny was just talking about. You got to get it from Fairway Packing. They supply all the good restaurants in town and Uncle Roel. What bigger endorsement can you ever get than Uncle Roel and steak and cake? 313-332-5114. Call him. Welcome back to Big D Energy, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Z-Mac, is that why you build your little barrier so you can eat behind it?
Absolutely. Guys, listen, the roast put the OG back on the menu, which is the greatest breakfast sandwich ever. And now the new one, I got to go through it. It's part of my contract, the gingerbread French toast. So we'll get through it now. Trying to get it through the break, but it's phenomenal.
Speaking
Never
of
had
food,
a bad meal over there. And shout out always to Spenny, put me on this is the brunch wrap, but you got to get the hash browns well done inside.
There you go.
Little crunch.
Speaking of food, Thanksgiving coming up, and tonight at the Red Wings game, gravy boats.
Oh, how cool is
Zamboni
that?
gravy boats.
Zamboni gravy boats, first 7,500, sold out crowd. Get there early. I'll be down there. I'm sure BMG will be down there too. Big game against New Jersey Devils, obviously Eastern Conference matchup. Jack Hughes coming in now. You got to take advantage coming back. Obviously, only get 1 point over in Sweden on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. But these are the games, and they're missing Timo Meier. They're missing their captain Nico Hischier. But you got to win these games. And you know, looking at what Derek Rolani's trying to do, some things obviously question marks. So Alex Lyon, who is going to get his start in net tonight. We're the question going to go with 7D, as I mentioned yesterday. So that's a good sign because Jake Wallman went down with looked like a scary injury, hitting the side of the net over in Sweden. He'll be back in. They're going to go 7 defensemen, 11 forwards. They're 3-0 this year doing that. So that's a good sign. You know, sold out crowd coming home.
Gravy boats.
Thanksgiving, up against it. Also, too, I see they're moving Joe Veleno up into Brinket's spot on the first line with Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin, trying to add some more speed in the attack and creativeness. So that doesn't mean, DeBrinket's being set around. You're moving it around, trying to get him going too. So a couple new looks on the power play. But they just got to keep going. The bottom line is they can score goals. They just got to find a way to keep it out of the net.
There we go. That's the game tonight going on at LCA. One of my buddies is in town from Chicago, Dan McKelgen. He's going down there with his entire family. It's kind of one of their traditions when he's in town for Thanksgiving if the Red Wings ever play around this time. They go down there. Yeah, it's awesome. He's a huge fan of yours too. So
I'll be walking around the concourse as always. Mayor of Hockeytown tonight. So come on by and get a picture.
You rolling with Gentry tonight?
He'll be around. Please shake Gentry's hand if you see him. Come on, so distraught, so distraught. Everybody just say, but maybe it says RSB or RBS.
Yeah,
RBF. Resting bitch face.
It could be.
I don't know, man, but old Cotton Hands Gentry will be down there too, and you should be
Old
at
Cotton
LZ.
Hands.
Good old Cotton Hands.
Shake his hand and tell us how, and then you can come in and go, oh my gosh, it's the softest thing since
He
Charmin.
moisturizes.
What's that?
He moisturizes.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. All right.
Imagine if he didn't. Oh my God, if he didn't.
If he's just naturally
Just
supple.
natural.
Yeah.
Oh.
How much airtime Gentry's hands has taken up this week has been phenomenal. Like, we spent a good 15 minutes on it at Feldman on Monday. Yesterday we revisited, and yeah, I mean, like, listen, when you got hands like that, you got to talk about them.
True.
So if you see D-Mac down there, make sure you stop, take a picture with him. D-Mac is the people's champ, man of the people. We'll stop and take a picture with anybody. Let's talk about two guys that got to get it going. And one guy I think's really going to get it going that they've been ramping up, and he seems to be a hot-button topic. Jamison Williams, baby.
Woo!
The Lions are going to utilize him. I'm predicting he's going to get at least 7 targets this game. This is the game that they're going to try to display him to the nation and let the world know what's going on and where he's at and how far he's progressed. And I think this is a great opportunity to just stomp out the Packers. And you do that by going deep. You do that by taking your shots early. And you do that with the fastest man on the team.
So you're saying 7 deep shots?
No,
See,
7 targets.
I think if you're talking 7 targets and they're going to try to get him in, it's a lot of the talk about using that speed. So wide receiver screens, jet sweep, listening to different prognosticators that know a lot about football talking about with his speed, he's starting to get the safeties and some of the corners that are over him to back off a little bit, which gives them some separation. And I you know what? I don't know, Stick, if that, yes, I think that to your point, his work and practice and the development and the trust and the way that Dan Campbell said he's made it, the herd has accepted him and stuff like this, work his way into that. They might have had that game plan last week, but the game didn't go as planned.
It did not.
Right? So if the
Definitely
game
did not.
goes as planned and we are able to control the game and they're able to work on a few more things, I expect him to see a few more targets. But I don't think, number one is to win the game. I think that they don't have the luxury of just going from game to game without correcting the mistakes and moving on to, hey, let's do this game. It might be in the back of the mind that they can go to there if things are successful. I do think that there will be a couple deep shots. I think that just he's proven with his speed when they get the right look that him and Goff can be on the same page. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised with another 30, 40-yard touchdown. But I think to your point, the targeting, we might see a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, maybe jet sweeps, like 7 targets might be touches because he might get a couple out of the back.
He may get some runs, but
like a sweep or something. But just
I look at it like Jahmyr Gibbs, right? They just kind of kept sprinkling them. Then one game they just let him.
But they had to. They didn't really have a choice because Montgomery had sort of gone down, and then they
could have gone to Craig.
Okay, Stick. Say that. Come on, man. Like,
Craig!
Be serious. No, I get it. I love Craig Reynolds, but no, they sort of were forced their hand that he had to step up. Jameson's not there yet. Their hand ain't forced.
I think that may have accelerated it, but they were building up to
they were
Gibbs
building it.
And that's where I see Jamison Williams being at. We've seen the build up the past 2 or 3 games. He got 3 targets last game. I think he got 3 the game before. So I think they're gonna out target the last 2 games in one game on Thanksgiving in front of the national audience.
And my point being, if Craig Reynolds or Amon-Ra St. Brown or somebody was down, you're force-fed just like Gibbs was with Montgomery out. I think that it's progress. But maybe this week it's 5. Then it's 6, 7. I think the game.
So what's your over-under?
I think the game dictates over-under targets.
Over-under targets.
4.
In the chat, we want to know too.
4.
4?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm taking the way over on that. What about you, Spencer? Over-under 4 targets for Jamison Williams tomorrow.
Can I push that? Can I say it's going to be 4?
Okay, let's go 4.5.
That's why it's a good line setter.
That
right
is
there.
a good line. I'd go under 4.5. I think it'll be right at 4 targets. Because I do think they're going to get up early and they're going to run the ball a lot. Because they're going to be mad that what they did against Chicago. They're going to be mad they turned over the ball a lot. They're going to go out there. They're going to get a 2-score lead pretty quick. And then they're going to run the ball and force the Packers into submission.
All right, JB, what are you taking?
I might have to lean with Spencer on that one with 4. I think that.
Where's the faith?
I think it's just gonna the Lions are gonna be up early, so it's just gonna become a running game, and you're gonna see a lot of gives there. But
don't you think if the Lions get up early, that's when they're gonna start putting on a show for the home crowd and starting to they haven't had a dominant performance in 4 weeks at least, maybe 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a while since they've been able to put their foot on someone's throat, and once they see that opportunity, I think tomorrow, once they get up by 14, 17, 21, they're just gonna Johnson's going to go ape shit and just start having fun.
No, I don't think that. Just because it's a short week, and I think he would more than likely like to see his players a little bit healthier going on to the
They get
next
10 days
game.
off.
I know, but he just wants to go on this off days just healthier. So I think they're going to play conservative like they kind of have been. So.
No, man. Why do you think that, JB? I don't like that.
It sucks to say, but it's just hey, it's the nature of how they want to keep everyone fresh and healthy. I just think they're going to get up big. You're going to see a lot more running from Gibbs or Monty, and then afterwards it's all right, cool. We won this game. Let's go into the next week. Be as healthy as we can.
D-Mac, when you were playing and you'd go through a couple of games where it was stressful, it just felt like you were running in mud, it was tough, but then you play a team and you just start rolling.
Air it out.
You don't take your foot off that gas when you start rolling.
That's what I'm thinking about. Hey, I'm getting out there on the PP and getting my cookie.
Exactly.
We get a grind like and get some cookies tonight. No, you do, but I think task at hand. And I think task at hand first, what's most important, getting back, to execution, techniques, stuff like different things that we sort of got away from. So it could dictate. I do think it's a couple shots. But again, here's the thing, Stick. The progression of what we hear from the coaching staff, from fellow players and stuff about how he's progressing each week in practice, and you're right there. With the more confidence they have, the more they're going to use them. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
So one of the reasons I think this is going to happen is there are targets for him to get. There are targets available. I predict Khalif Raymond may start seeing less targets, which is exactly what happened last Sunday against the Bears. He saw a season-low 20% of the offensive snaps, while Jamison Williams saw a season-high 68% of the snaps. Yeah. So, those are 2 targets that are available. That takes us to 4. That takes us to an extra 6 right there. And I think they want to include him a little more in the offense. So that's where I'm going with this. I feel like the buildup is here. The wait is over. We started to see flashes in the last 2 games. He had a touchdown called back 2 weeks ago. He had a game-changing touchdown last week. And you just want to keep that momentum going with this young man.
No, that's exactly what it is. Continuing to build. But I think you nailed it right there. The fact that he's taking time away in formations and stuff and being on the field, that's the start. So you nailed it to why you could be right.
Yeah, and I hope I'm right. I hope J-Mo just puts on an absolute show for the nation and fills us with all warmness and goodness on Thanksgiving. And if you want to be filled with warmness and goodness... Pause. Big boy! What were you guys thinking I was talking about? Comfort food!
I thought you were talking about tonight. It's the busiest bar night of the year.
Comfort food!
Where to go?
I'm talking potato pancakes. That'll fill you with warmness and goodness. And then they got the Southern Comfort Bowl, some veal parmigiana. You got to say it with the A at the end. Big boy, down home comfort. 'Tis the season. Go warm up at your local Big Boy. They're all over the place.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Mart store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas to figure out how you can sign up to win.
So does Caesar actually live here?
I don't think so.
No. Damn it. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Big D Energy, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule, who is in the Bahamas. We have D-Mac here, Darren McCarty, for those who aren't familiar. Then, of course, we have JB in the sound booth, Spenmo Rax in the TD booth. And tomorrow's going to be fun.
I got a question because it's brought up in the chat. Hexander, haven't seen you in here. Thanks for popping in. Brings up a good point because I'm sort of on this side of it, and I was wondering if you guys feel the same. He says also the NFL wants the Lions to win on Thursday or Thanksgiving Day. The refs will be in our pocket. I'm not going to say in our pocket at least this year anyways or whatever. This has that feel that it's switching, that we are becoming one of the league's team that maybe on days like this stick. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you have that vibe too that we might get some fortuitous calls go our way?
When Roger Goodell comes to your previous game and literally tells Dan Miller, we're getting calls about the Detroit Lions. People want to see them on national TV in different networks, not just one network, different networks. I definitely think they're going to be handled different than they used to. They've gained that respect of almost like a veteran basketball player, to where they're going to start getting the benefit of certain calls. Jared Goff may be protected a little more than we've ever seen any Lions quarterback protected before. So if you remember early on Woodward Sports, when I was doing the morning show with Joey, we had TJ Lang on. And TJ played for the Packers.
Shout out to TJ, yeah, good buddy.
And he played for the Lions.
Offensive.
And he literally said, when I was blocking for Aaron Rodgers, I would do it one way, and it was legal. When I came to Detroit and did the same thing, I would get flagged. So he knows that there was a clear bias between the darling Packers and Aaron Rodgers and the lowly Lions. Now, the Lions are the belle of the ball, right? They're America's team. Fuck the Cowboys. They're America's team right now. Everybody's rooting for the Lions. You see the fans filling every stadium around the country with Lions fans.
That goes a long way, too.
That's insane.
It not? So the fact that you're just not putting it in here at home,
yes,
it's the fact of how you travel. Everybody out there is a Lions fan. If you've gone to a road game or whatever, you've helped this happen. Now, I think you bring up, Stick, that's a great way to put it. That the fact is that the old lionized, right, by the league and the Calvin call, the non-call, and we all have our favorite lionized moments. That's something to it to be able to get to that next level in sports that I don't think people realize. So that's just props to all the Lions as well as you travel. The fact is, you nailed it. Commissioners here talking about, and how is that? How is the only way that all these networks could get the Detroit Lions on their TV? It's by having a winning team.
Right.
You can't do that by having a losing team.
Well, and let's face it, the NFL's a business, and when one team is traveling to cities that don't traditionally sell out football games, and the stadium's all of a sudden selling out, and it's not the home fans doing it, you're going to want to placate to those fans. You understand that money is being spent not only in Detroit, but all over the country on these Detroit Lions.
And that's why the NFL is the biggest and best, because they're aware of this too, to this point. Right?
Yeah, and I don't expect
How
these
is
to be...
Roger Goodell at a Chicago-Detroit game on the schedule, That's out of the norm.
In a 2-7 or 3-7 Chicago. It's not like it was a big matchup. And, usually you would want Chicago, if I'm Goodell, to win that because they're the number 3 media market in America. That's where I'm going to make the most money. Always follow the money, folks.
Yeah,
that's how you're going to, in anything in life, that's where you're going to find the most truth, if you follow the money. But I also don't see this being like blatant flags. What I do see is like benefit flags. Like, they're not going to throw as many holding calls because they know our offensive line is elite and they're going to have the benefit of the doubt that they weren't cheating. That's where I see just the mindset of how the officials view the Lions. Like, oh, they're actually good. The reason they made a big play wasn't because somebody was holding. It was because everybody was doing their job. Do you feel that, Spencer?
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And V Sky, also, I haven't seen you in BDE very often, so shout out to you. He says Goodell got that Kendra Lust pick too. He had a plan.
Did he get a pick with her?
Yeah, he got to pick Kendra Lust on the sideline. She posted it on her Instagram.
Not a boy, KL.
Trying to act like he didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
We all know who she is.
Everybody knows who she is.
Who doesn't have her number in your phone?
I don't.
You want it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could pass it my way, that'd be nice.
We talked to her early on at Woodward Sports about coming to do a MMA podcast here.
Yeah,
because she was doing that one. They were going to go to Vegas, I believe, to record her podcast. But yeah, she's great. She's a local girl.
Yeah,
a lot of people I know went to high school with her before she was, what she is. She crazy part is she's got a family here, husband. I met him. Cool dude.
Yeah.
It's
Kendra Lust is awesome.
Yeah, interesting.
Big fan.
She's a female of the people.
Yes.
She's the D-Mac of that world.
Yes. I would agree.
D-Mac of MILF.
Yes. She's a MILF for sure.
Oh God! Now what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Steak and cakes, baby.
Steak and cake.
Steak and cake. There's some cake over there.
I had to reset my whole brain to the beginning of the show now. What the hell were we just talking? Oh, Roger Goodell and the benefits of Detroit. Yeah. Got sidetracked.
Let's go Red Wings fart. He said Kendra's a glue girl for sure.
So yeah, the Lions are definitely looked at differently, not only by us here in the hometown, but around the country. And I could see that playing into some factors down the road. Are they going to get the Tom Brady treatment? Probably not yet, but it's on its way. And
But isn't this like I'm trying to get to the point across to, we were talking about how it's progress with the Jahmyr Gibbs and the young guys' development. It's progress with Jameson Williams and how you're going to use them. It is this stepping progress, and it's taken 30-some years or whatever to realize this, but finally it'll be interesting because at least all you ever want as a fan of any sport is call it the same way both ways.
Fair playing field,
right? So the fact that, and I've never as a Lions fan felt that, right? I felt if it was going to go anyway, it would be against us. Now, except for this year.
Right.
This year, I started to feel it. And the different calls or no calls and stuff like this. What do we always say in here during the live stream? And it's usually when Anson brings his negative ass in. It's always like everybody's, SOL, right? Those SOL moments, it's like the butterfly effect. They're going away. They're not even here anymore. We're not even bringing it up. This is another factor of that.
Yeah, it's another step, right?
Another step.
Yeah.
And I don't care what it is. You need the league, no matter what it is, to be a fan of yours. And the commissioner to be a fan of yours.
And Jonesy makes a good part. Jonesy5182 says, I'll be happy if Hutch gets a couple holding calls. Yeah, can we have, Rod, you're cool, you're chilling with Kendra Lust, you're down in Detroit, can you tell the refs, hey, throw a fucking holding flag on Aiden Hutchinson every once in a while?
Yeah.
Dude gets ripped at his neck every play.
Did you see those Chicago radio people just clowning Hutchinson, saying that he's not a good player, he isn't good?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's on our social media if you want to go to, I believe it's on our Instagram.
Yeah, we did our reel on it yesterday. I got it right here.
You got it right here. Listen to these clowns talk about Aiden Hutchinson. It's just ridiculous.
Returns, he had the opportunity, he had the game in his hands.
And listen, let me tell you, Hutchinson didn't do crap all game.
Oh, he complained all game.
Nothing. That's all he did was cry. He cried. Not a player, not an elite player. Don't worry, after 4 years, they'll be making the decision to move on from him. He can't do anything. And at the point where we've seen Justin climb the...
Was that like grandma talk about the Bears?
Yeah.
Could they find an older group of people to talk?
Classic Bears fans.
I was there when Ditka did something 40 years ago. Like, you don't know shit about sports nowadays, old man.
Yeah.
And to sit there and just clown Aiden Hutchinson after he seals the game with a strip sack safety, it's just bizarre to me how people want to, like, there were so many other people you could have singled out besides Aiden Hutchinson. I wonder why they took shots at him.
Well, he's the number 2 overall pick and everything else, and obviously the whole world just thinks that it's all about stats. It's stats and sacks. So at the end of the day, you just look, and if he doesn't have a sack, then he's not effective. To me, it's the whole unit, right? It's the whole unit. The fact that, some things are working a bit. You got Aleem McNeil on the inside with the most sacks since Ndamukong Suh.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's some things that are working. Now, he's got to get there. He's got to get better. But we all agree he needs help. We pay. They don't focus on him. They're not supposed to, right? We do. And, he's got to, I think he'll figure it out. This is all part of different growing pains. First, he had to learn not to be over-aggressive. Then he had to learn to, play the lane. Now he's going to learn that he's getting treated. Whether these fans believe it or not, or the people that are prognosticating, the other team's offensive coordinators don't feel that because they put 2 on him mostly every play. So he's got to figure it out, and he needs help in figuring it out, and that's why his coaches and schemes and guys around him can help him be better.
Yeah, and I think we both agreed yesterday that last game could be a launching point for Aiden Hutchinson. It could be that moment that just things click and make sense. You get your timing, you get your rhythm, you understand like when to hit as soon as you put your hands on a guy. Mm-hmm. Like Aiden Hutchinson is always that close away from having a 4-sack game.
And maybe he's going to come, like, is it me or not? Because he's usually coming from the top. When he stripped that one, he came from the bottom. So, moving him around and doing what other teams do with their best guys. That's, like he's got to. Yes, can he be better? I'm sure if you asked him, he would say yes. But you also need help, whether it's teammates, schemes, stuff like that.
Well, you need help, too, in insurance in life because, sometimes things happen, and you like insurance, and that's why we go to our people at Swiss. Right, D-Man?
Absolutely. Football's on the break. College and professional football. The season's been great. Got Thanksgiving game tomorrow. You got Ohio State, Michigan this week. And it's also the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. So why don't you do it like we do it here at Woodward Sports Network? Shop it with Swiss Insurance. Call our buddy Mark. Swiss Insurance today, 248-800-4177, or go to SwissINS.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey, Black Friday is coming up, obviously, on Friday. And what better place to go than woodwardsports.com/shop to pick up all your merch and everything that you want to gift your local Detroit sports fan. We got our own local designs and some spoofs and some funny stuff. Stoked Not Scared for those who are not afraid when the Lions are down by 12 points with 4 minutes to go because they know they're going to come back and get that win. woodwardsports.com/shop. Go there and get some cool stuff. Welcome back to Big D Energy, live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. Darren McCarty is with us today. Spencer is here in the TD booth. JB is in the sound booth, and tomorrow's going to be a fun day, D-Mac. We're pretty much going to spend Thanksgiving together here at the studio, right?
Absolutely. I'll be here. Actually, Juicy Hollywood is going to the game, so it'll be me and Booner doing the pregame show 9:30 to 11:30, and then it's right into the 12:30 live stream. You're coming in, bringing Woody in?
Yeah, I'm going to bring Woody the dog.
Boy.
Woody the dog is coming in. And
absolutely.
We got a great lineup tomorrow. Lions Insider with Gabby, Broder, Terry. That's going to happen early in the morning. And then you got the Eastern Market tailgate going on at 9:30 to 11 a.m. Woodward Sports going to be down there. Then the pregame show, 9:30 to 11:30 with Booner, D-Mac, Chris, and Kool-Aid. Then the watch party is going to go on. So, if you want to get away from the family, put on the watch party, watch the game with us. You may have to pause the game a little bit so you can be right on time with us, or watch it, know what happens, and tune in and watch our reactions to it. And then the post-game show. Oh man, Easy's on the post-game show this week?
I'm not sure.
That's what it says in the text.
Yeah, I know he's got his kid, though, for Thanksgiving, so...
We're going to have some golf haterade on the post-game show. I got to do a show with Easy and Anson on Thanksgiving.
Oh, man. Hey.
Yeah, so I got to... Gosh, man. It's supposed to be a holiday. At least Kool-Aid will be here and Jalen. So, yeah, make sure you're watching all day tomorrow, hanging out with us for Thanksgiving. And I honestly couldn't think of a better way to spend a holiday than... The Lions are here, right? They're 8-2 for the first time in 60 years. When we started the network 3 years ago, Thanksgiving was all of us just sitting in that conference room right there watching the Lions get the kicked out of them.
Yeah.
It's just how far they've come in 3 years is amazing to me and unreal to me, but I'm so happy to be a part of Detroit during this time.
Hey, real quick, you guys see the news out of Indianapolis? Darius Leonard was released.
I did.
Any interest, Benny? Too old? Is that something that I was just wondering, because he's a name.
Yeah, he's a name for sure. He's a multiple-time first-team All-Pro guy. He's not too old. He's still relatively young in NFL terms, but I was looking at, Colts reporters, beat reporters for the Colts. What they were saying about him is that the surgeries they taking a big toll on him. He's not the same player he used to be when it comes to sideline speed, explosion, different things like that. He's not what he used to be because of those back surgeries. So I don't know what's going on with him. He's going to clear waivers for sure, because nobody's going to pick up the deal that he's got. So he's going to have his choice to choose from. I just see him going to Dallas or Philly. I really do. I don't know if the Lions are going to take that chance, especially with the way Anzalone's playing this year. I don't know if they're going to go out there and grab him.
Yeah, sometimes another team's trash is another team's trash. And I'm not calling him trash, because Darius Leonard, when he was playing at his top level, he was probably one of the top 2 to 3 linebackers in the entire NFL.
But that's not the guy we're talking about.
That's not the same dude. We're talking about injury guy, and NFL. Joik used to say it when he was on the network. It's not if, it's when. You're gonna get hurt playing that sport, and unfortunately, he's been hurt several times. Injuries slow you down, and you even hear Travis Kelce now starting to whisper about retirement. Have you heard his quotes on that, Spencer? Yeah. Just saying,
he's getting pretty old.
He's like, it's something I don't talk about, but it's the pain that I deal with every day. And what those NFL guys put their body through is absolutely insane to me. And go ahead, D-Mac. NHL guys?
No.
He's been through a lot.
No.
Okay. I was like, hockey guys too, don't worry.
All that, but we're talking about Travis Kelce. Maybe things in life have changed for Travis Kelce. Maybe priorities are a little bit different. And do you think Travis Kelce might be right? Here's the one thing.
He hit the lotto, baby. It's like, I'm gonna put a baby in there and I won the lotto, baby.
Does this guy have a legacy? Does this guy have his Super Bowls? Mm-hmm. Right? Goddamn right. If this is absolutely legit and there's a plan to whatever else, why would he not? He doesn't need the money, especially if this stuff with Taylor Swift and stuff like that. His next chapter of life just opened up for him. Plus, he's got all the stats. He's got the Super Bowls. He's not chasing the Super Bowl. This isn't if or whatever. So, to your point, Stick, sooner than later on him, I would expect.
Even if I didn't have the stats, even if I didn't have a Super Bowl, when you start hooking up with Taylor Swift, I would retire immediately. It would just be out the door. I wouldn't tell anybody. You would know why. I don't have to worry about a damn thing for the rest of my life. It's like that Dave Chappelle skit with Oprah. Yeah. Got you, bitch.
Hey, timeline ain't contract. It ain't anything like that. It's bun in the oven.
Yeah.
Once that baby bun is in that oven, bye-bye.
Man, and just think of how many Taylor Swift fans are going to start sleeping with football players.
Yeah.
Like, she's so influential.
It's true.
It's a good time to be a tight end for a football team.
Yeah.
Because all those Swifties, they just follow suit, man. That girl, Taylor Swift, is the biggest star on the planet.
She's a cult leader.
I don't care what anybody says. I worked in top 40 radio pretty much my entire career. And anybody who could come to Ford Field and sell it out multiple times is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
You see people do it at their peak, but not people do it for decades, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not just one sellout. It's multiple in a row. And, God, the resale on her tickets this time were absolutely insane. But, yeah, so it's starting to wear on him. It's starting to wear on Travis Kelce, and I could see him seeking retirement too.
Well, priorities changed.
Yeah.
I would think they have. Maybe I'm wrong. But I see from what I see with what the the Kelce podcast and stuff, he's more about the world and life and stuff like this. And what better way than to see it than with the biggest pop star in the world?
Right. D-Mac, when you were at the tail end of your career, I've talked to Braylon about this too, when he was, trying to relive the San Francisco 49ers and stuff like that. When do you know?
Yeah, usually probably 2 or 3 years before, and it's usually your body, right? It's that passion of, and exactly what these guys are talking about. It's not your love of the game and stuff like this. It's being able to get out of bed and being able to get up and fighting through these injuries and nagging injuries and different things like that on the daily. And sometimes it just, especially when you're going through surgeries or having injuries or different things like that, it wears on you and it wears on you mentally. So most of the times guys stick around longer than they want to or they should. And then a lot of times it comes into dollars. Can't turn it. Where are you going to make the money you're going to make, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's making a league minimum. That's more than you're making unless you're set up.
Right.
So there's a lot of different factors, but like sort of when it's winding down. But for me, it was like this: the body was done.
Yeah, that's what I can't even imagine after what hockey players, what professional athletes put their body through. Because I'm an intramural champion, right? Like I play softball and stuff like that, and my body hurts. I'm not taking hits from other guys that just train to kill me. Like right. When I watch the NFL and I watch these collisions, all you can do is just shake your head that guy's got to wake up tomorrow and feel that back pain. And it's just, I'm so empathetic to that when I see those big hits. I love the big hits, and I'm like, knock them out. But then I'm like, oh, man, could you imagine you taking that hit, getting up, running another play, getting hit again, getting up, running another play, and then you got to wake up the next morning?
When I always make the half joke about the worst thing that I do is have to go play alumni hockey. But I'll do anything for charity.
Right.
Now, the reason I make that is because when I put my skates on or go to do that, it re-injures or reactivates old injuries that only you can touch by being on skates or making those movements or using those muscles and stuff like that. So it's just you learn to deal with it. And then here's the thing, Stick. In today's day and age, everybody's bigger, stronger, faster, younger. You look at all the teams, you look at the average age and stuff like this, but money's there. Guys are retiring earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of whatever CTE, these
Andrew
injuries.
Luck.
What's that?
Andrew Luck.
There it is.
Fantastic quarterback, had a great chance to go down as one of the greats, and he retired in like 5 years.
Yeah, and you just got to imagine what pain those guys are going through to push them to that decision.
Hey, Spenny, good
turn
catch
away.
Real quick on the Swifties. Jake Wagner nails it. Swifties are just juggalos from two-parent homes.
That's fair. That is fair.
Love it. Way to go, Jake.
Spenny, you an ICP fan?
No.
No.
No, not an ICP fan.
D-Mac, I can see you getting down with Esham, ICP, and Twister.
I'm a Twister guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Twister guy.
Yeah.
Rockside and Blaze and those fellas. Those
Man,
are my
when I
dudes.
grew up, I used to collect all the Juggalos and all the Jokers. I wanted all 6 Joker cards to come out, and you decode stuff that'd be like concert at St. Andrews Hall, and I was like 12 years old thinking I was a Juggalo.
I do love Fago, though.
Oh yeah,
good.
it's only $1.10. I'm gonna
Facts.
pour it on your when we, you know. I still know all the ICP songs. Like the ICP Kid Rock song from back in the day. It's called "Is That You?" After the show, you guys Google that and play it. Kid Rock's verse on there is hilarious. Talk about playing girls' butts like the bongos, and they were just wild. And when you're a kid, it was just fun entertainment.
Yeah.
I never took it serious, and I know Juggalos take it serious.
Yes, they do.
First time I knew that Juggalos were serious and that it was a big thing is when I went to Florida and saw an ICP like character at a store. I was like, people outside of Detroit know about ICP?
Oh yeah, those Juggalos ride hard for sure. Pause.
Shout out to the Juggalos
Shout
right
out
now.
Bocce Boys, New Jersey. Those are my guys.
Have you ever been to an ICP show?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wild.
Oh, yeah. I got Fago all over me.
I would love to go to an ICP
yo!
concert. Next time they do a concert, D-Mac, let's go.
All right.
And everybody in
Do
the
the
chat.
concert wrestling show because they just do the JCW Juggalo Wrestling, right?
Juggalo Wrestling?
Absolutely.
God, that's amazing. That is amazing. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Scott Mitchell. You see what this clown is saying about the Bye-Bye Barry stuff? Mm-hmm. I mean, he has a right to defend himself, but he's kind of going a little nuts. And before we do that, let me tell you about Planet Fitness. The holidays are here. You are going to be eating a lot of food tomorrow, and you want to work it off. And that is at Planet Fitness, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. They got locations all over Metro Detroit. So just look for the one near you. Planet Fitness.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Co., official equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned. Bad Boy Mowers, tractor steel, handhelds, even weed whippers. Also, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, and salters. It's going to snow soon. Get in, get at it. Outdoor Equipment Co. adds it all. Buy it, rent it, 0%. Yes, 0%. Financing, even delivery to your doorstep. Contact them today, OutdoorEquipCo.com. Tell them Big D Energy we sent ya.
Welcome back to Big D Energy live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule, who will be back next week. So you'll get your fill of Neil coming up, but he's having a good time in the Bahamas calling Oakland University basketball because that's what Neil Rule does. That is Darren McCarty. JB is here in the sound booth, and of course Spencer is here. And you said you got the stuff that Scott Mitchell's saying?
I do. I got the quote right here.
All right, let's take a look at this. I'm so tired of hearing how I was the reason that Barry Sanders never won a Super Bowl. I'm so tired of hearing how I was not a good QB. My only response is fuck y'all. That includes Eminem and Jeff Daniels. So expect Eminem to release a Scott Mitchell diss track coming up, maybe Thanksgiving. We'll get that at halftime while Jack Harlow's performing. But I mean, you got to understand it from Scott Mitchell. Like Dave Mack, you were talking earlier, there's two sides to every story. And listen, Scott Mitchell, they brought him in here from Miami after he had a great year. He was supposed to be the guy that took the Lions to the next level, and he didn't do it. And that's just the bottom line. And history is history. If you would have won, you would have been credited with being the quarterback that got Barry his Super Bowl. And I guarantee you, you would not have said, I don't want that credit. So you can't have it both ways. But also, Scott Mitchell going to be on with Ermanni and Edwards coming up in a couple hours. So I don't want to go too hard on him. But I think only choosing one perspective that he's doing is asinine. Because he would have taken the credit if they won the Super Bowl. So take the credit that you didn't. It's that simple. It's accountability.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And I don't think anybody here was ever, like, blaming him for not winning. I mean, it's a team. You know, team effort. The more you see that they're not all on the same page, and the fact about it was more about, you know, Scott Mitchell getting protected. If Scott Mitchell or Barry Sanders had had some of the offensive line or the protection Jared Goff has, would it have been different? I mean, there's bigger questions there on the defense and everything else. So it was never. Did you ever squarely blame Scott Mitchell for the Lions not winning a Super Bowl?
I honestly never even put that in the same sentence.
I thought Scott Mitchell was good enough, you know, to sort of get it done. If everything,
but they did bring him in here to
out.
take him over the top, right? Because they did win a playoff game. I believe it was with Eric Kramer, right? And then they bring in Scott Mitchell to upgrade, and you don't do anything different. So, like, he was brought here to improve the team, and it didn't quite happen.
So he failed.
Right.
You know, I mean, and that's the thing. So,
and how many athletes have failed? A lot. There's only one Super Bowl every year.
Most of them.
Right. Yeah, there's only 1 out of 32 teams that wins the Super Bowl every year. And that's why, like, when people use the Super Bowl as a barometer of success, or if you don't win a Super Bowl, it's like, that's asinine. Like, so you're telling me 31 other teams didn't have at least good seasons? It's so stupid when people use the Super Bowl as the only metric. I mean, until you're Tom Brady, the Super Bowl shouldn't be the only metric.
Mm-hmm.
But Scott Mitchell, like I said, is going to be on with Ermanni and Edwards later on today. I want to tune into that. But Spence, what do you think about Scott Mitchell?
I mean, I don't know. I never saw him play. I don't know. I can't really form an opinion on him. But it's from what I've heard is like he was brought in here to be the guy. He was brought in here to be the person that took them to the promised land. When you look at the receiving core they had, obviously they had Barry Sanders. They still had Lomas at the time. You got Chris Spielman, and you pay this guy a ton of money, which leads to you not being able to re-sign Lomas, not being able to re-sign Chris Spielman. So I feel like that's why he has a bad reputation in Detroit, is because he was brought in here, paid a lot of money to do it. He didn't do it, and because of that contract, you couldn't re-sign fan favorites like Lomas Brown and Chris Spielman.
I wonder if he cashed those paychecks.
Oh, he sure.
Then you should be held accountable for what you were fucking paid for.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what are we doing here? JV, what do you think about this whole situation?
I mean, I agree with Spencer. I didn't get a chance to see him play. All we have is highlights of what was supposed to happen. But just to think that the Lions could have had Joe Montana. They could have had Warren Moon. But no, those guys were just too old, and, they didn't fit what the Lions were doing at that time. So
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Greatest tackler since Joe Montana.
Yeah.
No, that out of everything in the Bye Bye Barry, what's it called? Documentary?
Biopic, documentary.
Whatever you want to classify it as. Losing out on Joe Montana is probably the hardest thing that I took out of it, because he was my favorite quarterback growing up. I mean, he was
the Kansas City Joe, right?
He went to Kansas City after San Francisco.
But it would have been the Kansas City version of Joe Montana.
I mean, you're not getting Apex Montana.
No, but still he was doable.
Right. It's like getting Tampa Bay Brady.
Still pretty damn good.
You'd take Tampa Bay Brady. I mean, he did go on to win a Super Bowl. So losing out on Joe Montana and Warren Moon, I liked Warren Moon, but Joe Montana, it was the gold standard before Tom Brady. And that's you had a chance 100%. to get the best quarterback 100%. Of all time.
When you're always arguing the greatest of all time, for a long time it was Brady and Montana, wasn't it?
Right, and before Brady, it was just Montana. People try to throw Elway in there, but it was pretty much just Montana. So I'm really curious to see what questions Ermanni and Edwards ask them.
Oh, they're going to give him softballs.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh,
Maz will hit him with some hard questions.
I don't know.
You don't think Maz will?
I don't think so.
Hey, what do you mean? Nobody ever blamed you.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We loved you here in Detroit.
Spenny, I think Tammy Chin sums it up, though. Scott Mitchell gives out candy corn on Halloween.
Yeah, they're saying he kicks his dog. They're going hard in the chat.
Scott Mitchell burned my crops. That's tough.
Yeah, really. What would you ask Scott Mitchell if he was on with us today?
I would ask him why he wants smoke with Eminem. No, I would ask him what he thinks the reason the Lions didn't get to the Super Bowl or didn't have success then if he doesn't blame himself.
And where do you put the percentage, right? It's 20% Scott Mitchell. It's like, no, he's part of the offense and part of not getting it done with, Herman Moore and Perriman and like, you know what I mean? It more of the team. To the fact of financially handicapping your team and your position to not be able to be better, right? That's the one thing. Why were you so greedy, Scott? Do you think that if you weren't so greedy in your contract that the other guys could have got signed and it would have been different?
Yeah, I love this comment in the chat. Scott, first question from Ermanni and Edwards. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Probably.
That'd be ours.
They're gonna hit him. I mean, they're professionals. They're gonna hit him with some real questions. But my first question would be, Scott, quarterback position is a position of accountability, right? If you don't get it done, who should the blame have gone on? That's the question I want to know from Scott Mitchell. If you're not taking credit for it, where does the credit lie? And I would love to hear his answer to that question. Yeah.
Where's the blame?
Because you're not taking accountability for it. But all that being said, could you imagine your entire life hearing that, though? Like, you're the guy that didn't get it done. You're the guy that couldn't do it. And eventually, that will wear on you, and you'll snap.
For sure.
Say, I'm done with this. I'm absolutely done with this. Like Sam Bowie. You don't think Sam Bowie is sick of hearing that Michael Jordan was drafted right after him?
That's fair. That is fair.
So I can understand from a man perspective how you wouldn't want, but at the end of the day, own it. You didn't get it done. You were a good quarterback. You came here to Detroit, but unfortunately you didn't get it done. But to take shots at Eminem and Jeff Daniels is hilarious to me.
Well, I think they took shots first.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just part when you name any player on a team that's lost, right? It's not, to me, it's not specifically he's part of it, right? Like they all didn't get accomplished. We're talking sports here. It's a sum of parts, unless it's an individual sport.
Right.
We're talking golf or tennis, UFC, whatever.
A comment in the chat from JC. Oh, Stick, you're so hard talking like this, not to his face. Asking a man a hard question when you're in media is part of the gig, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you're afraid to ask the hard questions, you shouldn't even be in this industry. And it's not disrespectful. It's called journalism.
Yep.
How's that a hard question when you're asking a question after he answered? You're just saying, okay, being the quarterback, so who is to blame?
Yeah, you're digging deeper. That's what you're supposed to do. They give a response. You go next level. You go micro on it. Okay, you're right. You know what? You're not to blame. So who is? That's the right question to ask in this situation. It's not about being a tough guy.
Yeah, you want his truth. He's offering you're just trying to get into what his truth is. This has nothing with your opinion.
No.
Not at once have you said that have you answered, was Scott Mitchell the key sole part, the reason we didn't win? That's not even the question. The question is, Scott, you said this. Can you elaborate on this? What did you mean by that?
Right.
And if it's so, A to B, and I think that's a great question. I would love to hear that question answered.
And here's a dating tip for everybody. If you're out on a first date and a girl says something about herself, do that same little trick. You dive deeper than the initial thing that she says, because
then
pro tip, that's what she wants. She wants you to be invested in what she's saying.
That means you're listening.
Exactly.
Ask her about Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what every girl wants.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Did Scott Mitchell fail the Lions in 1994?
And then you get into heated debates about sports, because that's what they want to hear. And what else they want to hear is where they can get good food for their pets, and that is Premier Pet Supply. When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years, 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Just in time for football, Glorious Canada. This is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good. It's like the whip of the first playoff win in 31 years. A gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. They are so smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check us out online, www.gloriouscanada2ns.com.
Glorious! Draft experience was shitty.
My high school dating experience was shitty.
I can tell you all 16 receivers and where they went to college.
I can tell you every girl that put me in the friend zone, every girl that shot me down, what grade it was, and what she said to me. Sarah Williams, freshman year at a house party, says, quote, I want to be single. Got a boyfriend the next day. Beth Samuel, junior year, I got benched during a football game. Afterwards, she came up to me and said, I want to date a starter. Kelsey McFarland, 10th grade. I took her to dinner, paid for dinner, and she told me I was the best guy friend she's ever had. Rachel Fletcher, took her to a party with my friend. She said, I like you,
but I like your friend better.
That was in 12th grade. Emily Westfall, senior year. I asked her to go to prom with me. She said, quote, sorry, I already have a date. She didn't even go to prom. Tanya Allen, Heather Talbert, Lindsay Turner, Leslie Frazier. It's okay, though, because now, here I am, working at Woodward Sports. They all got fat after high school, and the only thing I want back are my hoodies. That right there is why you should take my dating advice.
Legend! You're a legend, Stick!
Yeah, you know, see, I'm not Scott Mitchell. I'm going to say I got shot down and I didn't do my job. I didn't complete the mission. I'm accountable. I didn't complete the mission.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to Big D Energy Thanksgiving Eve. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule.
That's my favorite.
Darren McCarty is here. Let's see, we got JB in the sound booth, and of course we got Spencer over there. I love the comments in the chat when that thing plays. People get wild in there.
Stick, yeah, real Queen of the Week. Them hoodies are expensive. Let's go.
Dude, come on. Who doesn't miss their varsity hoodies from high school because you gave them to some thought at a house party trying to hook up one night?
Yeah, we had these sick football hoodies one year that were like the gunmetal gray with some sweet embroidery and our names on the back. Haven't seen that thing in like 10 years.
Listen. Nothing worse than sending in a sacrificial soldier in the hoodie and not closing the deal.
Yeah. D-Mac, how many jerseys? How many jerseys did you send out the door in your day?
What's that?
Like if a girl's taking on my high school football hoodie, they got to be taking D-Mac jerseys home.
No comment.
You should have done the Jeter.
I used to have a fresh line on jerseys.
Yeah, just pick yourself out a jersey, man.
And you know what? The best part is around here, Stick. Most of them had their own. It was when we traveled.
Hell yeah.
Might have to bring a few on the road.
Bring a few on the road.
All right, remember Derek? We'll never get back.
Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter used to give out gift baskets. Yeah. Hey, thanks for that ass. Here's a signed baseball.
If I had Jeter money, it'd be different.
Take you to my NYE, high rise or NYC high rise.
Derek Jeter's lineup is,
dude.
Undefeated.
He's got a good lineup.
Yeah.
It's a good roster to have. But yeah, rest in peace
God
to all the
bless him.
hoodies.
Right? Because, dude, he did it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Did anybody else do it the better, right, more respectful way that you don't hear, for what he's crushed or been a part of and just to where he's at now?
Kalamazoo to what he did?
But just like you don't remember how it used to. Remember how it used to be Tiger. It used to be Tiger. And then all of a sudden, boom, comes crashing down.
But Tiger's hit list was ugly, right?
No, whatever.
When Tiger's hit list came out,
he's normal.
Yeah.
He's like everybody else. Whatever. Jeter just always did it the right way. Was a single man. Dated all these girls. Whatever. Not a bad thing.
It's like Clooney and Leo. Like
Now
they know
he's
what they're doing. They put their flag down and said, "Listen, I'm just out here to smash. Like
Yep.
that's what I'm doing the rest of my life."
That's what it's all about.
And
now they didn't they settle down now though? Clooney settled down.
Clooney did?
Yeah, he got married. And
I know Leo's still
Leo's still banging 25-year-olds
on his yacht in Milan.
Hey, you know what?
Forever.
I mean, it's that Italian, the Leonardo DiCaprio, Dino Ciccarelli, they're on the same program.
Oh man!
Wait for it. I got it. I found it. My
What'd you
favorite
find?
picture. Let me.
Oh no!
Let me get this.
What are you doing over there, Spence?
On the fly production. Look at this. Spenmo Rats
That
bringing
Derek
it to you.
Jeter diamond. Look at Mariah Carey, Jessica
Hold on.
Alba, Jessica Biel, Scarlett Johansson, Minka Kelly, Tyra Banks. Like, dude, the guy just come on now.
Yeah, God bless him.
Where do you go? Who's your lead off? Who's your Who's your lead off? Who are you going first?
And we're assuming all of them are in the prime, right? We're assuming all of them. Not today's lead off.
Yes.
Okay,
No.
we're going prime. Okay.
Jessica Biel probably.
That's your one?
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
All
I'm,
right, if you
I'm
have
starting
it-
off with the Jessica, but the other one.
Yeah, Alba?
Yeah, Alba's number
See,
one.
I'm going Jessica Biel lead off, Tyra Banks in the 2 spot.
Ooh, good call
Jessica
there.
Alba batting 3rd. Scarlett Johansson hitting cleanup.
Yeah, the Scarlett's. I'm probably going Jessica, Scarlett, Vanessa. I mean Vanessa Manillo.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
like you got to remember those MTV days. Then Mariah Carey. I mean, she's just crazy, so you know that's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know that's going to be a good time.
I'll probably go Alba Scarjo.
All right, well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's going to be a nice holiday tomorrow. We're all going to be watching the Lions game here. Hopefully, wherever you are at, you get to enjoy the Lions in some peace. And, you know, it's been crazy. My entire life, I've been yelled at for watching the Lions on Thanksgiving, wasting my family's time, all that stuff. And this year, they're calling me, asking me what time the Lions play. You know, the excitement is next level, and downtown is going to be such a scene that I think this game is going to be like our first real taste of what a playoff game will feel like.
You think this is sort of the dress rehearsal for the playoffs?
I do, because it's a nationally televised game. This is our game. The Lions have fought for decades against people saying that they need to rip us off the Thanksgiving Day game. Remember when that was like a trending topic? Like, they need to get off Thursday through the Thanksgiving game. They're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Now.
Stop. Remember when that was really legit?
Yeah.
And the fact of we thought we were going to lose it? Like, it was like... What'd you mention? The first year, so what are we, 3 years here, whatever like this?
3.
Even 3,
Yep.
as much as 3 years ago, right? If you don't bounce back a couple years ago and stuff like this, I mean, this is something that it wasn't just talk. It was legitimate, because I think we had that conversation, Stick, didn't we? About like, it felt like the NFL was going that way. That just goes to show you when people talk about the NFL is that quick turnaround from worst to first. You can get it when you get in the window. How do we know that? Again, because the commissioner's here on a Sunday the week before, just sort of smelling stuff out. And to your point, I've been thinking about it. Don't think it's not twisted to the fact that if Goodell's standing on field side and he sees if something like the fact that the Lions are the golden child to the fact of, you know, the holding against, I'm going to use the holding against Hutchinson or whatever. If you don't think that there might be a conversation, not like you have to do this, but a bigger conversation.
But hey, lots of guys are rooting for these
it.
guys. Wink, you know, like that. It's not going to be a hey, call the game for the Lions. It's going to be like, hey, the Lions are very important.
We watch
right
these
now.
games every week.
Right.
When it comes to who? The Phillies or the San Frans, or, you know, you mentioned Tom Brady, right? Aaron Rodgers was probably
Couldn't touch him.
The field was legitimately tilted in his favor.
Right.
But it's like that earned. So if that's earned and that's what we've got and that's what our guy Jared Goff is earning, hopefully it permeates to the way that it's called. Because if we get a fair shake, we got a great chance.
And I think that's it. Like, I'm not asking for beneficial calls. I'm asking for the fair shake. And that's something that the Lions have never had in my entire life. It always felt like we were behind the 8 ball. And I kind of felt like that when I was watching the Kansas City Eagles game on Monday night. I thought that Kansas City has kind of fallen out of favor with the refs. You know, they had a couple big penalties in big moments that I didn't think would traditionally get called on Kansas City.
Especially at home.
And Mahomes got lit up a couple times. Normally they would have thrown that flag to protect him, and they didn't. So it's interesting to watch teams fall out of favor and others come on up. And it's going to be fun to see how this plays out for the Detroit Lions. Another game we got going on this weekend that we got to talk about. Michigan, Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh will not be on the sideline, but this game, I talked about it yesterday, is to me the most hyped up Michigan-Ohio State matchup in 20 years, 30 years, since David Boston and Charles Woodson. And you're starting to hear the national media talk about it. And now, I'm not sure if you saw what Dave Portnoy was putting out on his Twitter, which take that for what you will. But there's some connection between Ryan Day, his brother, the private investigator firm that they registered in 21, so 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's called Third Day. And some people are saying that that's because Jim Harbaugh said Ryan Day was born on third base. And that's why they named the company that. So that guy's so petty that he started a company to go catch this guy. This is all conjecture right now. I have no proof, but multiple people have reported it. What do you think about that, D-Mac? Like the fighting going on between these coaching staffs. How petty is it getting?
Well, I mean, it is sort of, you know, what it is. Now, who's more pressure on this weekend, right? It's got to be Ryan Day. If Ohio State doesn't win this game with everything else, and he can go back, and like he's saying, look at the narrative. Oh, the only reason you beat us the last couple of years because you cheated.
Right.
Well, the fact that you don't have Harbaugh on the field, is it going to make a difference? I mentioned it yesterday. I think that it could, right? It could definitely make a difference, but there's no excuse. If Ryan Day loses this game, he's got to be gone, right? He's everything. He's put himself in this sort of position. Now, again, may the better team win. I just hope the game plan is, depending on what the game plan is, the good thing is, you know, you have Harbaugh there coaching all week and getting these guys prepared. But again, the more you dig into this, like this isn't going away.
It's
not going away. It's deeper and it's deeper and it's deeper. But at the end of the day, all of it doesn't matter. These kids got to go out and play.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's getting lost in all of this is the kids that are playing the game, right? Because it's all about the adults fighting right now, the bickering that's going on between parents and stuff like that. The Ohio State-Michigan thing has always been a fun rivalry, but I really feel this year it's more hatred than ever, and it's more pettiness than ever, and it's going to lead to one of the greater games that these two teams have played.
How do you expect this game to go?
I don't know, and that's what I really like about it, right? And that's what all good rivalries should be. You don't know going into it, and as somebody who's not a diehard Michigan fan, just observing the chaos, and I'm an agent of chaos. I love it. I love to observe it. I love when it's happening. This has just been fantastic theater for me, and all it's done is build up this game and make me more interested as a casual Michigan fan.
No, I firmly agree.
Yeah,
I firmly agree. Everybody knows my stance being Canadian. I'm like you. I cheer for all Michigan sports teams except when they play each other. Because I'm married to a Sparty, I cheer for the Sparties.
Hell yeah.
But this weekend we'll be all go blue, and it's interesting to Stick because we're not even thinking. I'm thinking about the outcome and how the game plays out, but I'm thinking about results and what happens after because nothing's going away. It's like AEW.
The game's a subplot.
It's like if you follow AEW, then they have these pay-per-views and all whatever matches, but they do post-scrum medias for 2.5 hours, which is unprecedented in the wrestling. So you get to talk to the people after. That's usually where all the stuff goes down, and we've seen it in the past when you've heard the CM Punk stuff, shooting, fights backstage and stuff like this. The press conference after the game is almost going to be bigger than the game, depending on which way it goes.
The game is just a subplot at this point. That's what I think. Like, it's all about the characters and how it's playing out. Spencer, you're a Michigan State diehard, right?
Yep.
I'm sure you hate Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you hate Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Has all this drama gotten you more interested in Ohio State versus Michigan than before?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not really that bought into it. I don't care. I think Michigan's going to win. I think they're a more physical team, so I think they're going to go out and they'll be able to run the ball like they did last year. But we'll see, man. Marvin Harrison, that kid's a freak. If he gets loose, it could be dangerous for Michigan.
Yeah, he's clearly the best player on the field.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, Stick, here's a great point, right? And I'll ask you because you were out for this just because I can remember this too. But Jim 3, thanks for coming in. This don't compare to Bo and Woody days. The Bo and Woody, it's different. Mm-hmm. It's the 2023 version, technology, social media version of that. So it really has the parallels, but in, 40 years later. Right? Like the way, like it's not, Bo and Woody was literally, I'm going to punch you in the face, Bo. Woody, I'm going to punch you in the face and we're going to fight. Now this is more of all the, like behind the scenes, and it's the scouting, the cheating, setting up the third day, it's all this.
Using technology.
Technology-based social media. This is if this was the 2023 version. I think Bo and Woody.
It's the remake.
It's the
updated remake.
Is it not?
Yeah, the only thing that's missing is the Bo and Woody thing. They had a coaching connection together, right? Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh do not have that, so I think that made it a little more personal. But these two, as far as hatred goes and what the lengths they're going through to undermine each other, it's not just show up on the field and let's punch each other like Bo and Woody, because that's how, and let's be honest, that's how men settled shit back in the day.
That's how society was back in the day.
Now it's, I'm going to trash you online and I'm going to destroy your image. That's how dudes fight today. Like, it's very rare that dudes square up today. So I think that's a great analogy, D-Mac. It's like if Netflix was to remake the rivalry in today's world, what would it look like? And this is it. You got the villainous looking Ryan Day, the private investigators about technology and cameras and espionage. Like, it's
yesterday's prices aren't today's prices, but if the gas back then is the gas now, it's comparable.
Yes. Yep. No, I think that's a fantastic analogy. So we're going to find out what's going to happen. That is Saturday. Man, I just can't wait for this game, and I'm not a big college football guy. I'll be the first to admit that. And I kind of brought it up yesterday. Did you see what David Bakhtiari said on Twitter over the weekend, just that he can't watch college football? I agree with him. I'm in that lane.
NFL's way better.
NFL is like, it's not just way better, it's like in a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, I love college football too, don't get me wrong. Like, the passion and what college football means to the kids and stuff like that and the fans is different because you have actual ties to the team and to the players.
Right, like I never played for the Lions.
Yeah,
right.
But the NFL is just a different skill level. It's so much better to watch.
Yeah, and the thing I hate about college football is it takes till about week 9 for matchups to get interesting.
That'll be different next year. Because they're doing the 12-team playoff.
That'll be interesting. Like, next year, I think, Stick, and even to where our fandom would be more on the, like, we're going to dial into other sports, right? But the fact that they put the 12 teams in and it means a little bit more early might bring the casual fan back in.
I hope it does, because honestly, that's what's kind of deteriorating the NBA right now, too. It's like the regular season means nothing anymore. It's just getting to the playoffs. As long as we're doing that, we're fine. Then we'll play our healthy team the whole time. So, yeah. We got a lot more to talk about coming up on Big D Energy. What am I supposed to talk about right now? Hamlin Pub, baby. If you're looking for a place to watch the game, any game, all Michigan sports, and we're just talking about the big game, you can do it at the Hamlin Pub. They got 7 locations around Metro Detroit. Go to hamlinpubs.com to find the nearest one near you. And they have food specials starting at $8. That's a hell of a deal. Go to Hamlin Pub.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. 18 locations. There are Feldman dealership near you. Go to feldmanauto.com. You know, it's one of those things. It's the holiday season. You always see the commercial. Someone just buying a car for somebody. You can do it at Feldman. Just show up, drop a car in your mom's driveway, and say you got it from Feldman. They'll give you a good deal. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Sheldon Federale. Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. This is Big D Energy. The spread for the Michigan-Ohio State game. D-Mac, you wanted to know that?
Yes, I did.
Where is Boomer?
I want to know where everybody's at. I know it's Wednesday, but as busy as the things get, I won't be in Friday. Might talk about it tomorrow. Pre-game show, but I'd like to just hear around the room here on a Wednesday. Where are you at with this?
It's at 46.5.
Michigan's minus 7.5?
4.5.
4.5.
Oh, is it 4.5?
So Caesar Sportsbook has Michigan listed as 6.5 favorite before last week's game, but reopened Sunday at 4.5.
Oh,
something happened where they started
money.
They started to fade Ohio State.
Is that the Harbaugh effect of not being on the sideline?
I don't know, because he was suspended before that. He was suspended. So why would Vegas knows something? Mm-hmm. They don't change lines for no reason.
So what does this what does this, as a Michigan fan or whatever, give you more pause? Where you at with this line? How do you think this game plays out? Because right now, I do think Michigan wins, but I do believe it's a dogfight, and it could be like a 20. It could be a 21-17, 24-21 game. It's gonna, one of those games.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I didn't expect the blowout last year. That could happen again, because it seems like when either one of these teams gets rolling in the game, it just momentum takes over and the other team just crumbles. When Michigan was losing to Ohio State, those weren't close games, and when Ohio State's been losing to Michigan, not a close game. So I think it's going to be a blowout one way or the other. I just don't know which way. Which team's going to show up first, get ahead, and assert their dominance? That's how I see this game playing out.
What about you, Spetty?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Michigan. I do. I would take Michigan with the points. Like I said, I just think they're the more physical team. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. Ohio State has been soft the past couple of years, and I can't see that changing, really. I think Michigan's going to be able to out-physical them and just run the ball down the field.
Yeah, JB, what you thinking?
I kind of think the opposite of that. I think Michigan will win, but I don't think it's going to come off of the backs of Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum. I think this is going to be the one time where you're actually going to have to put the ball in JJ's hands and have him win you this game. But I do think Michigan comes out on top.
The biggest thing you were able to expose last year in this game was big plays. And so far this year, that's something that Ohio State's done a really good job of tightening up, is not allowing big plays. So in saying that, if you can crack one early, I think that what you said, it opens it up. But I think, Stick, for whatever reason, this will be one of the classics.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those, as they say, instant classics.
And Ann Arbor is going to be absolutely bananas.
Well,
it's going to be
absolutely
show.
banana. And who's all going? Hey, chat thread for the last thing. Who's going to the Lions game and the Michigan game? That's a hell of a weekend, isn't it?
What a fun time to be from Southeast Michigan, right? And root for your football teams. Like, this has to be this. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it and saying it out loud, this is the best time in football that Michigan, the state of Michigan, has ever seen. I mean, the Lions have done something they haven't done in 60 years, starting out 8-2. Michigan is undefeated with a chance to play in another college football playoffs. When has it ever aligned like that?
That's a good point.
This is the best. If you're a football fan in Southeast Michigan, enjoy this. Unless you're a Michigan State fan, you're gonna enjoy half of this.
Yeah.
You enjoy half of this. But as somebody who just enjoys football, having elite football played at multiple levels here is awesome. And we're not even talking about high school football, where the quarterback from Belleville is the #1 ranked prospect in the entire country. And, you got the high school football state championships going on this weekend. De La Salle's back there again. There's high-level sports being played in Michigan right now, and it's so fun to be a part of it.
Real quick on that, Stick, because you cover the Michigan high school football sports. Where has the talent level? It seems like it has risen across the board with a lot of these. Legitimately, you're seeing guys that are going to be playing on Saturdays, in the next couple years and stuff like this, and being impactful.
Not only
guys.
Saturdays, Sundays
too,
and,
right?
Michigan players in Detroit. Detroit, the city of Detroit has more NFL players than any other city in the United States of America. They have turned out more NFL players from our city limits. Mm-hmm. And that's just fact. That's not me making things up. It's not me being a Detroit homer. That is locational fact that Detroit puts out more NFL players than anybody else. And now it's starting to spread to the communities, too. And you're just seeing, freshmen that are coming in and dominating high school football. And then you get 4 more years of them. It's amazing. There's a kid that plays for Cass Tech named C.J. Sadler, who is one of the most phenomenal athletes I've ever seen at any level.
What position?
Well, he came in last year as a freshman playing wide receiver. They moved him to quarterback this year because they had the kid named Mumford playing quarterback the year before. But then you got, the kid that went to UCLA who got offers to Michigan, but he was supposed to go to Oregon, Dante Moore. Another elite recruit. You got Sauce Gardner being the defensive player rookie of the year, out of Cass Tech. There's just so much great talent right now, and the high school sport that I grew up playing is not the same high school sport. They're damn near professionals now. The way they operate, the way they train, the way they're coached, it's different. The way they're paid. When I grew up playing high school football, we were just kids that occasionally hit the workout room, and we had fun playing football. We were a damn good team. We were undefeated at Orchard Lake St. Mary's my junior year, and I think we lost 1 game my senior year. But when I look at these kids, their arms, the build, the speed, it's just next level what the evolution of sports has become here in Southeast Michigan. And it's fun to be a part of it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Real fun to be a part of it. And we got some special guests in the studio. We're going to hit them coming up next. But first, D-Mac, tell them about Lady Jane's, where I went yesterday, and Megan cleaned me up finally. Look at that.
Yeah, and as you can see, look at me. I got my Coolio on, only by Beth.
My Coolio.
You can also come to Lady Jane's. Haircut for Redford, award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams. All expenses paid suite. 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right, no expense paid for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Red, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Any any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility, control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White & Associates. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Welcome back to Big D Energy, live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. That is Darren McCarty. You just heard from Spencer. We have JB in the studio. One of the questions from the chat from Burkus44. Did you play with David Bowens and Diallo Johnson? No, they were there 3 years before me. I played with Jermaine Gonzalez and Maurice Seawright. Those were the stars when I was at Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Real quick, it takes a community to raise a child, that including me. And as I always say, I'm a battery. You people are my power. Well, Mama Jan is here because it's Thanksgiving, and she brought some treats. Now everybody knows that I am, Neil tells you that I eat the desserts first. I'm a big dessert guy. So, Ma, what'd you bring in?
Yeah.
Show the fine people. But you also brought in, because this is what it's all about, the compassion for other people. But you also brought something in for Spenny and stuff. So tell the people what you done. Look at that. So I got a text yesterday. What do I want? The cheesecake and pumpkin pie, or the pumpkin pie and the chocolate cream pie. Look at that chocolate cream pie. Now, why am I bringing this out and teasing everybody? Well, you're going to be able to be a part of that pie tomorrow. During the live stream, yes. And see, when I say pumpkin pie and whipped cream.
Oh, yes.
Pumpkin pie, that
is a good ratio.
Thing will be on there.
That's
the pie
the ratio.
Might go in the whipped cream. We will see tomorrow.
Then I brought you a little treat.
You brought me nice. I love it. Did you say you had something for Spenny?
Oh yeah, I got a pound of sliced ham.
Look at that pound of sliced ham, because Spenny does not like turkey. Thank you, Ma.
No sweat.
And if anybody wonders, that is Mama Jan on the Twitter. You see her daily, except for she's here instead of watching at home. So.
Yeah, and we were talking about high school football. I actually know her granddaughter from doing sideline reporting at high school football games.
The wonderfully
this week
talented.
She's actually doing just like Neil, except for she's calling them games from at home.
Oh. And she's doing. Is she still Milwaukee stuff?
No, she's home for the weekend with Bally's.
She's calling the same games Neil is, but she's doing all of them.
Absolutely.
She's doing the men's and the women's. She's got
awesome.
24 games she's calling.
Yeah, and I saw her on the lineup for the high school football championships too this weekend.
Check her out, Alexis Ayala. Doing a great job. Another one of the great, like we have Gabby here, Gabby D. Phillips, Daniela Bruce, Carly Johnson, just one of the great young female reporters around.
Yeah, good times. D-Mac, can't wait to hang out with you tomorrow and watch the Lions play. It's Thanksgiving. When we're doing these watch parties, I honestly enjoy sitting next to you the most. No offense, Spenny, but some of these guys are a little too emotional for me.
Yeah.
You during the game are calm, collected. You're strategizing during the game and not really thinking about the outcome, but what's right in front of us.
Well, it's Clarence. It makes sense because
did you just call me Clarence?
I did.
You use my government name.
I'm using your government name just because of just to know how.
Oh God! Here comes the Eminem quotes.
I think our Lions fandom is through the same eyes.
Yeah.
A lot of the same eyes of we remember what we've been through, remember where we've come from. It's just trying to, and I try to bring it into knowing what it took to build our championship teams. And
right.
It takes time. And are we seeing improvement? Do we see leveling up? So there's different things that we talk about, like coaching and decisions and stuff like this. I don't blame these kids. I mean, they're supposed to be, because remember how we were 20 years ago?
I do.
But they got something It's just trying to prepare because this is the long run. They have something that we don't have, and I think that we didn't have, that we were always looking for, and we noticed that. So,
and I think that's a great point because there was a time when I would be so emotional about every single Lions game. And eventually I learned that I cannot let these guys dictate my happiness every Sunday.
Nope.
Not that I ever became a detached Lions fan. I still rooted for them with all my heart, and I still wanted them to win with everything I had. But I understood that I have no input. I have no responsibility. There's nothing I can do but sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yep.
And right now, we're enjoying the uphill ride, and it's a lot of fun.
We'll be back tomorrow. Check out the Bottom Line for interview with Scott Mitchell today. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow. Check out Woodward in Maine, and then I'll be on the pregame show with Booner into the live stream. Stick's bringing in Woody.
Yeah.
Guys have been great. Big D energy. Send us off, Stick.
Hey, man. You guys have a great one.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We out.
Happy Thanksgiving.